forward to seeing a raise on this map. That gives me flashbacks to the legend that is Yassine, but also just the amount you can do in terms of denial when you get onto that defensive side. For now though, Magnum already coming in under pressure.
Destroyed.
As he is forced back off the angle, of course. For the attack here, they're going to have to take a lot of control now. Having that double initiator means they can clear a lot of positions for free, but getting into the plant, obviously they don't have a Sage, they don't have a Harbor. So there's not going to be anything as like a hard blockade in the way. So they're going to want to take some of these firefights, clear out some of the players, and that's not gone great. A bit of spam straight through the screen is enough for Magnum to start things off.
Shot down low by Narrate, but the numbers are already thinned out, down to the 3v3 as the plant comes in. Is that a swing from Spawn? No. Magnum's playing this nice and slow. He's got Tamazi with him. And they'll try to open up some space for Shin to sneak his way through. Good shot onto Benji. Fishy. The damage most certainly done to start this, as Team Heretics are now on the back foot. Less angles, more angles to clear rather, and they haven't got the players to cover it. But at least the information now. If he spotted Shin, he won't catch him by surprise, but the double swing after will. That's Magnum's third of the round. And it's all down to Boo. Nice shot. One more needed, but it's Magnum. He's been hitting shot after shot. The time against him. He's the one that has to tap that, and Boo is clearing it out bit by bit, playing with him as the time gets ever lower, stuck to half, and tagged down. Magnum's in the danger zone, and he's got to get that defused now. The time was already gone. But Boo deals the damage to put 1-0 on the board for Heretics.
Yeah, good start in the Red Bull clutch, and both IGLs having to battle up against each other in that final fight. It was a great round for Magnum, even still with the Sheriff, managing to find 3, and ultimately one of the reasons that this round was competitive. I am liking what we're seeing, though, with this composition so far from Heretics. Sure, it's super, super early on, but you could see like they had the screen down and then they were consistently pushing it. Like they had themselves the initial use of the dart to give them information, and then they also had pop flashes. What? All right then.
He's seen that one before.
Yeah, I guess Magnum really has been working on his Sheriff shots, because so far, crispy clean. He is going to get taken down though by Rians. Of course, a lot of rifles on the board right now for the side of Heretics, so any more casualties and this becomes quite a costly round.
Keep an eye on Magnum as this map goes on. Martine shut down, and it's Classics for the most part. They shouldn't do too much damage. Now right and Shin, though, they've made this a little closer than it should be. Wall goes up, and Shin goes down. Now right alone. Classic in hand, 2 players to take down. Both are heavily armed and lightly armored at this stage. They're being chipped away at, but the Sheriff won't help that much. Both can still sustain a shot to the body. It's got to be the headshots, and Boo's a little quicker on the trigger. 2-0 for Team Heretics. Those losses will be felt, though. I think that damage from KC can't be undersold.
Yeah, no, it's actually going to mean that this is less of a bonus, and
that's filthy. I say he was ready for it. He must know that he does that. He must have had that in his head. Nasty.
Yeah. In terms of this investment, as I said, it's less of a bonus, and either going to have a couple of players with basically nothing or just pistols, and you're going to have some gaps where those rifles used to be. Still an opportunity, though. 3 guns, 1 in Mini Boo's hands, 1 in Boo's, and 1 in Benji's. There's definitely players that can do some damage. Martine now looking to try and get a little bit of an aggressive push, and they're all being farmed up by Shin in an attempt to get that res a little bit closer. It's not close.
Oh, I like this aggression. I like the flash, and I like the follow-up.
It's close now.
Shit! Yeah, right next to grabbing his res. It's not a bad start. Look, rifles in hand. Heretics play it as a bonus. Sure, we can throw excuses out there, but that was nasty. And you could see that they were completely caught off guard on the attacking side by that kind of aggression.
Yeah, there was an opportunity to shoot the Dizzy, though. I think that's the only problem, as they get caught out by that piece of utility. Boo trying to find something with the spam. A little bit optimistic. Rian's now trying to do the rest, and Narrate, after his initial strong flash, will be there to get some kills as well. KC, a pretty clean start to the defensive side as they only lose a single player. And I think it was literally just a bullet missed, and then Shin just gets everything on the blind players.
Well, round 4 will have a lot of value to it. Rifles brought in across the board. Limited damage in the previous round means KC are feeling pretty healthy when it comes to credits. But for Team Heretics, they're not in that same boat, investing everything into this one. They come in with an ultimate to play with. It's Riens, and it's Miniboo to open. Tamazi out of the round right away. Viper Util no longer to play with. A retakes are harder, but most importantly, B itself is wide open. Was.
Once you get into those close blocks, it can be problematic. So Magnum's going to try and be a little bit more aggressive, try and hold them back at least a little bit. As said, with his composition, you're going to try and take a little bit more control for the attack. Going for the standard plant is risky, especially just look at Shin. He's basically just waiting around the back line. We try and attempt to go for some spam. Here comes the Util on the other side from Heretics, forcing them back as much as possible. The pop flash through and a little bit of damage from his own utility, but they think they've taken enough space. It doesn't look like it thus far, as Magnum already going to pounce.
An attempted return by Riens, but it's found Rien. Nothing to be located for this squad as Team Heretics bunker down with the man disadvantage. The time ticking away, but it's not that far gone that there's panic in the side of KC. They've got their utility, crash back online, and immediately shut down. Spray through from Martin is good, leaving Boo on his own, as Magnum has picked up another big round. I'm really impressed with his individual performance. Not only taking on the leadership role, which has got to have its weight to it, and sure, having Narrate there to back him up is going to help. But individually, I think this is the best form we've ever seen Magnum play on, and that's impressive.
This is definitely looking good. And this is the thing, it's never going to be easy to sort of take that much space and plant at the same time.
He's feeling it.
I even cracked a smile for Eng. 2-2. Now the purchase, not a great one. A single Guardian. You've got yourself some pistols on the rest with the Sheriffs, and again, looking like an aggressive stance. They're caught by the darts. They're going to have to try and fall back off this one. It's again another 4-player stack up in the early round onto this A site. The expectation that they're eventually going to fall in this direction, and they do! Martin is able to correct, though. It looked like he was dead to rights.
If they kept that swing up top, maybe he would have been. I think the fact that KC have players deeper on A was incredibly valuable. The timing on the top peak to draw their crosshairs as well, sublime. And timing is going to be a key part of this round because Boo is trying to catch them off guard. That wall down, and unfortunately for Boo, he is caught looking the wrong way. So Team Heretics have a wide open sight because it's retake play. But for KC, they can deny them with some utility. That plant, not easy to find. Although Miniboo will try to take this one a little bit deeper. Recoverable weapon as well. That's the Guardian backup. Reveal has not caught Tamazi, and he's content to just give it up. The retake attempt will be taken by KC. I think it's a wise choice.
One thing that could be interesting, well, now 2. A shot connected, a showstopper available for Miniboo. Already looking to try and deny any further pushing, but it's going to be an easy clean in the end for the side of KC. And I like the fact that they're consistently having these sort of proactive positions. It makes things fairly awkward for the side of Heretics. I also think these early stack-ups in A is because they know that, realistically, getting the plants on B is not going to be easy. You don't have anything to just basically plant something down and fall back. You have to push. So they're just stacking up A because it is the more logical side to go for. It's where you normally see teams just consistently put the pressure on. And especially when you consider Heretics' actual comp. You've got a nade for one corner. You've got yourself the fragment for another corner. You've got yourself snake bites. You've got yourself nano swarms. Like, you've got yourself shock darts. They've got so much. They could just spam the hell out of the A site with the amount of utility. So KC are going, well, that has to come eventually. It feels like the reason they have this comp.
Well, 2 players suppressed, but 1 not spotted up top. Martin. Ulkaman's taken away his abilities, but he's still got his rifle to play with. Can't quite get past that wall, and eventually he will. Unfortunately, Miniboo fired a rocket just before he went down, and that's taken Martin clean out of the round. Lockdown in play, but where are they going to go? They're just going straight up to heaven to deny this from afar. Lineups in play for Benji Fishy as the nanos come through, and that tap on the spike About to have problems caused. Nice shot for Patatek. Utility now should secure the round on time alone, and Tamazi has next to nothing to do about it. He needs kills, and he needs them now. The next couple of seconds, he'll be hightailing it out of here. An attempt with the wall up, I like it, but they've got to reveal. It's just the constant bombardment of utility that's making it difficult and indeed impossible. A round win for Heretics.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't... It would be not the most exciting thing in the world to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just continue to go towards this A side. Like, even if there's a stack up on this site, which there was, just the sheer amount of utility that they have to force players out of angles, create awkward scenarios.
Good job.
It seems like a comp that will just thrive in that direction, whereas on the B side, okay, you need a little bit more. The thing is, though, Mitch, in this round, they do have a little bit more with the Viper's Pit.
Yeah, that could be helping out a ton. Now, taking the space is something else, but so far it's been easy enough when they pop this utility through. Tamazi, as we can see on the mini-map there, is much more passive than he was before. He was trying to get up close to the boxes and fight kind of where Miniboo is now. But instead, he's now playing back further, having been punished a couple times by the blast pack up from Miniboo and by the utility that followed. Heretics have their wall. That should get them close enough to pop the Viper's Pit. See if KC's spams can be enough to stop it, because really, we're relying on Tamazi getting that damage done. Or else, we're relying on the fight back through the pit.
Still looking at Magnum. He really has been a menace that they've had to deal with. This early read from KC is sublime, but here comes the bombardment of utility. First in, first out. Patatek. God, what has just happened? They've been obliterated by an array. He was just watching the cross. I need to see...
Replay?
Yeah, I need to see his point of view there, because I'm not quite sure how he's just wiped out that many players in a second. One of them was with the Mosh.
Yes.
The rest was all him.
After, yeah. So Spray, he sees the first. He just lines it.
What?
And I guess did enough damage to Boo, combined with either a snake bite or a spam from Tamazi, or maybe even just the wall. Whatever it was, that made it easy for the mosh pit.
He's about as ecstatic as his tweets after all of the matches.
Wow.
Just 1-2-0. No, he's literally just tweeting the same thing every day.
It's not like Angel. Apparently he lost 2-1 yesterday. That was,
yeah.
Enjoyed that one.
And he won a map in his mind. To be fair, one of them was quite long.
It was.
Maybe
yeah,
he felt like he won the first half and that counts.
He was like, we played 3 maps, definitely.
Okay.
That took too long.
Well, the early fight from Patatek has somewhat been undone. It will be the res coming through. Martin on the operator with a Blade Storm. It doesn't even matter that much. Shin's also been holding that res for about 3 or 4 rounds.
Martin's already died once, and look at how aggressive he's being. I mean, he has a Blade Storm to work with, so why not? Updraft attempt, and that's not gone well. Out of there, and the Spray is chasing him, but Shin somehow connects. Magnum as well. And KC, I don't know if that was through the wall or just in the open, but either way, it works. Because they're just winning every single fight. And indeed, it will be a flawless round. I mean, they lost a player, so technically there was a flaw, but I'll give it to you, Andalucia. Well played.
Yeah, I think Martin might have taken about 300 damage that round and still survived. Because not only does he take the initial death, but he also gets healed up again afterwards because of the amount of damage he took on the regress. Even still, though, Shin managed to protect the President. Well, the President's rewarded him with a round. Really clean stuff from KC. 5 of the last 6 on the board for them. And the one was this aggressive play into the A side. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's rinse and repeat. The problem is there's a lot of resistance here. And even after the last round, the man almost died twice aggressively. He still catches them off guard again. Miniboo's gone.
They found Banshee as well. Oh, a little bit late on the reaction to that. And the swing out of Magnum didn't go according to plan. It's a messy round. And it's left it into a 2 versus 2. A winnable spot for the side of Team Heretics. The Viper's Pit online for Tamazi, but his teammate might be in trouble. The Thrash comes through. It's now in the open. Irretrievable, almost a mosh pit from Narrate. That is brave. Maybe foolish. Rians quickly deals with him, but the angle for Tamazi, those players are hidden away.
Oh, can you see
and
the
they're going to
barrel?
check it. They're going to check it together. There you go. Oh, no, not together. Patatek got the info. Rians is left to close this out. He's already tagged a little bit. Unfortunate. Tamazi now sees the wall is there. He's got to go forward. He's caught with a snake bite. Not dealt with, though. That could be a mistake. The Rians lives to regret. He's running. Got the ult to work with. Rianz is just going to shift it up close, already stuck halfway, and the head scene. Rianz knows it's not being stuck. He'll play the time and eventually get in there for his third. Heretics finding another round, keeping it close. He looks unbothered.
Yeah, calm and collected as ever. Even still, though, they lose every single player. And because of how clean a lot of these rounds have been for the side of KC, financially not in the best spot. On the other side of things, they do have nearly all of their ultimates online, so a good chance that they'll be able to just spam their way out of this one. The fact is, though, it really has been the success of the A site. Again, I feel like that's what this comp is built for. They're looking to build into it once again. This aggression has to be expected. They've done it almost every single round, and even still, the Martine Miniboo battle goes Martine's way.
His aggression has been so varied at the same time. Boo is miles away. He's leading from afar, huh? The armchair general of the round. But for Team Heretics, they're getting caught off guard. But again, it's Martine in different positions, different forms of aggression. Last round, you've got the close range op fight. Now he dashes up to take a duel up top. There seems to be almost no way to predict him. In fact, he dashed out of there. They're just running along the rope. Got to be ready for it. But for Heretics, at least, there's something to fall back on. They've lost Miniboo, but they've still got 4 ultimates in play. So there could be some way to pull this back.
He was the only one who didn't have his ult, so it's not ideal because he's normally the space taker, but it's better than what was lost instead already. Going to be throwing the knife through, but it doesn't actually connect. And I like the fact they've just walled this off. That's something that's going to waste some time for the side of Heretics, who are yet to really start peaking. They are going to bypass. This is going to be the Viper's Pit, and Boo already taking a hefty amount of damage. Straight over the top goes Martine. No fear, as there's not really been anything connected. Panitek already gone, and he's just continuing forward. Finally will be dealt with, but he's taking the space for his team. And now all that's left is Benji. He manages a couple within a second, but it isn't going to be enough.
I think just a shame for them. They put such a deep Viper's Pit, but this squad is quickly able to bypass it, using the top of the site just to create those extra angles, and it's a tough one to fight from. I think a defensive Viper's Pit there, as we can see, you know, it would have had more value, but then you're trying to win the round in a very different way.
Also, the Sage Wall blocked off that avenue. So I think they had about 3 seconds after they saw peek around the corner. Because the Sage is on the right side, he just, I think, just put that Viper's Pit when he ran around the left.
Okay.
So it was more so, I think it was just a reaction to the utility that was denying him on the other side. So it's one of those spots where I agree, but also I think KC just played it really well.
Yeah, but like I say, if you bring that back, again, it changes the whole shape of how you're playing that site. You want to be having your util late round, having players further back,
100%.
Someone inside. So much has to go differently. I don't mind the responsive play, but it was adapted to perfectly on the other side. 6-4 for KC. Heretics call a timeout. And remember, this map chosen by the side of Carmine Corp. It means Heretics wanted to start on the attack. I don't know if things are going exactly as they wanted them just now, but they can tie it up 6-6 at the half. Not the end of the world. The real problem is that coming into this round after the timeout, they're not going to have credits. It's going to be a very weak buy.
Compositionally, just because this map can be difficult to get those plants in at times, especially on the B site, I do think there's a good opportunity for Heretics over on that defensive side. They're going to have so much in terms of information and delay utility. Like, even with a Sage Wall, if there's a nade, a fragment, a shock dart, snakebite, anything, it's going to be difficult to plant. So I don't mind their chances. The problem is, if they're too far behind, we've already seen what KC can do when they get going on that attack. Just have a look at last map.
Still the pit to play with for Tamazi. KC don't need to be worried. It's a lot of pistols for Heretics. A much slower approach to the attack as they look to catch someone off guard. Immediately, yeah, like you say, Tamazi making some noise. It's the same setup that Team Heretics have seen. One Viper here, defending it, falling back, playing the retake. Tamazi's going to give them the idea that maybe they can catch him off guard. Maybe they can blitz in and take him by surprise. The reveal, I don't think he's catching Martine either. Good kill, fall back, and now Martine's got it for free. Surely, Tamazi has gone down. So Martine almost wants that little bit more. A second player now making around that corner. There we go, nice and easy. And the patience pays off. Beautiful stuff from Martine, and a clear advantage to the defenders now.
That's an intelligent player right there. He knew that there was more to be had other than just Miniboo, and you can't really blame Heretics for not checking that. They fell for the exact plan that KC were telling them. And we're now, with just a couple of pistols, you can already see just waiting to try and deny them on that plant. It's more Heretics just looking to try and do a little bit of extra damage. An unorthodox plant spot, but it is still going to be cleared by the Mosh. They're going to have to go back for a little bit more. You could see Panatic just trying to cover every single angle under the sun. He almost, there was a world where he somehow gets a couple there. Now it's on to Benji. Clean on the first, but there's no chance for the second. KC continue their resurgence as they are now 7-4 in the lead.
Powerful lead for this French organization.
They had no right.
One more left to play for in the half, and they could be doubling up on what Heretics have brought to the table. After a 13-7 on the previous map, KC Ball is certainly rolling, snowballing down the hill. And Heretics will look to dodge that avalanche as this final attacking round sees not 1, 2, 3, but 4 ultimates for the side of Carmine Corp. They have a Res, a Viper's Pit, a Blade Storm, and a Lockdown. I mean, your choice of how you want to use these. A powerful retake, powerful stopping ability. Heretics will have to play a perfect round with just a showstopper in their back pocket.
They're basically playing the retake already. Like, you can see the stack up this time is actually over on B. They've put the Sage Wall down early. They're putting pressure onto mid. And I feel like a lot of this might just be Tomazi trying to hold onto the backside. The showstopper, well, they're actually going hunting through it. It's almost been wasted. He's going to go back in. He's made it into the pit. With the lockdown, it's going to force them back completely. He gets to hold the site, doesn't get hit by the showstopper, and some of the players have even been detained.
Yeah, well, deterred from any further aggression, though, having seen that some of the other players haven't been detained. Just block it, duh.
Okay.
Rienz blocks the mosh pit, and then takes down Martin with a straight spray through the pit. Okay, one big player dealt with. Blade Storm out of the round, lockdown used, and a Viper's Pit already placed on the map. What's Heretics' plan? But look, they're waiting for it on the side of Heretics. They wanted this.
Nice.
Flash was good. That saved the day, and Narrate's got another kill on the back of it, decimating the squad. 4 versus 3. Pit still up, and they play forward. Tomazi falls. That's the pit down, but only Boo left to deal with, and Martin's got him locked in. 8-4. Double the score of their opponents on the other side. Carmine Corp are set to take this. A pistol could send them right back into that snowball that we've been experiencing. They look hot right now. Heretics need a way back in.
Yeah, I like the fact that every time I'm watching KC doing something scary or ludicrous, there's another layer to it. Like that res, by all accounts, risky as hell. The dizzy over the top, and then the aggression. So while that res is happening, Narrate is taking the fight. He is making it so that, okay, my teammate's getting up. If I can get a kill off that distraction, it's huge. 8-4 in the lead, and bear in mind, next up is Split. Sure, the last time around, Heretics won 13-4. We said the same about Lotus, and KC have since beat Fnatic.
That was a pretty fire transition we just got. The banana buff into the kitchen banana. Now, it's been looking pretty good for the side of KC, but the pistol doesn't get off to the best of starts. Rienz with some early aggression. His best cosplay of Martin, and it's won an award. A one-man advantage is their prize.
Reminds me of some of the aggression we saw on the other side. Not quite the 3 kills of Shin, but still. Man advantage nonetheless. A little bit of a sneaky push coming up from Tomazi, hoping that he can maybe find an angle, find a gap, and he has done quite a bit of damage onto Boo. No heals available on their side, and I'm sure Shin's going to try and find something a little bit more before that wall goes down, but in fact, Tomazi has managed to win that fight. The spike's even coming through on the other side, just trying to bait them out. In the meantime, the players are walking up onto A. They have fake planted the spike, and then they are running all the way back to the A side. That is absolute filth. It's only just being realized by Heretics that this has all been a bait. But look at the control that KC have already taken.
This is textbook play. Absolutely beautiful from KC. Fake works. The players are on site.
Oh, and they faked it again.
Come through.
That wall is a ruse. Look, Rienz runs through, goes, there's a wall there. There's no way there's a guy on the other side. The nade trying to deny. The push in doesn't get anything. Shin fighting strong, but Benji again left into a 1v2 so low on HP. needs an immediate response.
Calling my bot.
Yeah, with 15 health,
Bot coming back.
quick headshots needed. That's the only way out of this one. He has got 1v1s on offer, but he's looking the wrong way on the way through. That might be the first time I've seen Narrate whiff that bad, but he gets there in the end. So all is well. 9 on the board for KC, and a real blow for the Heretics fans.
I love it. Again, this is someone who is a brand new in-game leader with a brand new team of youngsters. The adaptations they make in this round, not only the initial rotation with the fake plant, but also
Magnum.
just the fact that they have that Sage Wall in the late stages of the round that they use to bait a kill so that Martin, maybe that's why he's telling him to calm down, because it was risky, but it was clever.
It was, absolutely. Just lulling them into a false sense of security on a read that you've got to make pretty damn quick. 9 rounds on the board for KC. Attack side looking good. Some investment from Heretics. A couple of Sheriffs. Some utility, for sure. Still double snake bites on Boo. Nade on Mini Boo. A flash for Patatek. See how much value can be taken from that. As KC are clearly setting their sights on B. But Heretics have made the read. It's not like this is a completely abandoned site. It's not left wide open like we've seen in the past. Instead, they look to fight. It's just that they don't quite have the brawn that KC do. I'll have to catch them off guard.
They've still got Wingman, a Sage Wall. Plenty they can try and use to get them into the after plant and force some awkward positions. A pop flash here could be devastating. They like investing into these extra pieces of utility for these sort of rounds. The orb actually ends up helping them out quite a bit. That will allow them to retreat back, and this is where the better weaponry just takes over. Benji still crisp, as he got 4 more.
No, I'm pretty sure the answer to that one. They're stacked up, 3 players on that angle on his left. Well, if he could find even one, that would be somewhat of a miracle. Now as he swings, there's gonna be 4. Make it a little bit harder, and he does find the one at least. Some damage, but it's negligible in the grand scheme of things. The bigger picture, 10-4 for KC, a 6-round lead, 3 to close it. They're on that attack side, with Narrate having, again, a lights-out performance. I mentioned before in the last map, there was a stage towards the end where he was 25 kills, 10 deaths, and 10 assists. He's now 16-5,
He's playing
6
unreal.
assists. His impact is off the goddamn charts.
That's the
and
thing.
It's in every round.
If they win this, he's tournament MVP. I don't even think it's questionable.
On the roles he's playing as well, it's remarkable.
Obviously, the value can't be understated as well. The 3 points, the equivalent of 3 wins in the regular season that's coming up.
Here.
The same as you'd get for winning over in Masters. Such a huge step in what will be the road to champions, which of course for these teams after making their first Masters, it might feel like a long way away, but it will be a huge boost for them. Nice flash. It's going to catch Narrate picking up his own. Rian's also, his spot might not be something they necessarily check for, at least at this stage. They're looking to try and clear Mini Boo, but he's still sat back waiting for them to try and retreat. Oh,
Oh,
no.
Oh, no. It's not what you like to see. A bit of a whiff, his position given away. The trigger discipline not quite matching up to what we saw earlier on from Martin. As KC now redirect themselves, it's the B site that's under threat.
Yeah,
Boo.
it's mainly because of Magnum.
And he's got a good position. Now they've relinked with him, and look at this. Just as they go to move, those players start to relocate. They're worried about the A site. They think the hit's coming through there, and now they realize it's a big old retake they've got to go for.
Timmy the turret is going to be used to bolster the plant. 4 players looking to try and rotate back. But there's so much still to do. They do have themselves snake bites, the knife, a fragment, even a blast pack for some space to be taken. Magnum, though, already getting rid of Boo. That's not the start they were looking for. Martin is also sat alongside Timmy the turret. A pretty nasty angle to be playing behind something they might not even consider checking. And while they finally cleared him, but it's too little too late. The round again has fallen in KC's favor. Once more, they run away with the map. 6 rounds in a row now. It doesn't look like there's a response.
I did like this, the flash through. It seemed like Mini Boo was kind of ready for that. Minibu? Narrate, more so. Was actually ready for that. He turned from it, but couldn't react in time. About 11-4, yeah, look, KC haven't been really making a step wrong. We complimented Team Heretic's system, certainly in that first map, and from what we've seen so far in this tournament, running it through without losing a map. This squad has looked impressive with a stand-in, with, you know, synergy problems with a player at home. It's never going to be the same. And Patatek slotting in as a stand-in has done remarkable, but for KC on this map, their post plans, their pre-plans, their takes, their aggression on defensive side, every single thing has got so many layers to it. I absolutely love what we're seeing from this squad, and it is just unbelievable to think when we started this season, I don't think there was any reason. If somebody put them as a top 2 team, I think they're kind of insane. Like, on
They're
paper,
in the booth next to us.
you know, but yeah, they are, aren't they? But it would have been a very bold prediction to think they'd do that well. Even Magnum saying to us before the season started, we're top 4 easily. It's like, that's a big statement. Making it to top 4 is an achievement for this squad, but they have shown that, honestly, they look like the best team in our region right now.
Yeah, the other thing is a lot of people would have put Gentlemates, the other French team, above them. Like, that's the thing. They were coming in as a roster that had been around for a while, another very experienced coach. Like, you can't really blame them for it, but no, KC have come out swinging. I think Eng his stonks have gone even higher than they already were. And Magnum is making a name for himself once again. For the side of Heretics, it's around with Sheriffs, looking like they may have to try and fight back 8 in a row, but at least giving themselves the best possible setup to do it. On the other side of things is Patient. They are expecting some aggression. A spawn spot from Tomazi. He's gone from being the first man in his old Portuguese team to the man waiting in spawn. It's definitely been a change of roles, but one that I think he's thriving in. I think that's actually one of the most impressive things for me. To bring a player that young, switch their role to basically the polar opposite of what he was doing before. He's mostly been playing Viper. And to see him, well, as I said, yesterday went 26 and 13 versus Fnatic.
They're all right.
They're kind of good.
Flash retrieved for Narrate. I think that's going to cause a bit of a slowdown to the round while they wait for it to come back online. We'll see Dizzy go through and a push to back site, but that's Team Heretic's trigger.
30 seconds
As they
left.
hear those pieces of utility come through, they know that the plant's being committed to, that the fight is being taken, and then the pistols can maybe blindside a few. Triple swing on backside. Shin, he might have looked out of position, but that's because you didn't see Martine right behind him. You only see the flash of his barrel as he takes kill after kill, 12 seconds, and the cover is there. The space is taken, the territory well and truly in the hands of Carmine Corp. The Team Heretics of Benji and Rienz attempting to bring... What? Well, I don't know about that shot, but it worked. It took him down, fair enough. It was echolocating him once he started knifing the wall. 12-4. Tom, you know, at the halftime, it looked like KC were going to take this. Now, it looks impossible for Heretics to get back through. They're already thinking about split.
Oh, yeah, they've definitely got to be. As said, last time they played split versus their opponents, they won 13-4. But they were probably feeling the same thing when they went into Lotus and got bullied for the entirety of the first half. And as said, since then, KC have beat Fnatic on split. So every time they seem to be growing, getting better, improving. That has been the story of them throughout this tournament. Now Heretics need to show a little bit of Spanish flair. 8 rounds in a row is what they need. That's not the start they were looking for. Boo going walkabouts. Nice shot from Minibu, though. At least going to turn things back into their favor. Leave things even for now. Benji also may just be playing for the retake here. He has the lockdown. Him going down would be rough. Not the spot you want to be in. And in fact, it's actually going to be a very early Hunter's Fury. Normally a great ult to have in a retake, but clearly hoping they could do some damage.
Especially a retake of A with such narrow laneways. I think that's a desperate attempt to try and pull an advantage out of thin air. And
a maybe lockdown that would have forced them back.
Exactly, right? Like, this could have been massive, but instead, look, they still have the lockdown to work with, but you're not punishing on the way out quite the same. Nice shot from Martine, but he only gets the one. And with the lockdown in play, there's some trouble brewing. You're crazy. throwing in the Thrash here. It's actually caught one, but Magnum won't get round the corner in time, and Narrate won't make it out. The pressure's now on. Shin's got a 1v3 for the next couple seconds while they tap that defuse. Here comes the swing. Good shot from Shin! He's got them both! A chance to keep this alive. It's halfway, and the head was spotted. Narrate knows the timing is his. He's dropped down, covered it with a shot, and the angle's now tough for Miniboo. 20 HP, but he'll hit the shot to keep Heretics alive. It's not over yet on Icebox.
Oh, Shin nearly made that possible. He's another one. You look back to last year, what he had to go through. And the man that's come out the other side from cold to diamonds, that's for sure. That was so ridiculously close. The fact is, Narrate was a passenger, and he almost managed to do it all. 12-5. We saw the attempted comeback last time out. Mitch called it a little early. I'm guessing you're not going to do that
Tom.
again.
It's doable. This could be Heretics all the way.
That's a shame. 13-5.
It's only 7 in a row. So I'm feeling confident. Let's see. I mean, I'm limit testing. I don't believe how these last few weeks have gone. Every statement I make just falls to shreds.
How many kills does Martin get with the op this round?
None, to be honest.
Okay.
I think Heretics have made the read. He's got an op, and they're going to hide and punish. Probably just headshot him right away.
Okay. So everybody get their clips ready.
Here comes Boo to start. It's going to be the first man. I like the angle he's on. Actually, now I'm believing. Oh, God. Okay, he gets there in the end. Nice and clean. First kill, just as we expected. Shut down right after. Shot from Benji's good. Heretics aren't letting go of this. It's only Tamazi left, and he hasn't got a goddamn chance. Curse isn't real, Tom. KC going one more. Another triple for Miniboo. He had his ult online coming out of last round, so it's not building orbs, but it's building confidence.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for him. Even if it does come down to going into split, he's going to be such a huge part of it, playing that solo duelist on the Raze. A lot of the setup will be based around him. The fact is, though, sometimes that last round can be the most difficult. We've seen fight backs from ridiculous spots in this map before, but this would have to be one of the best. Still, Rez and Viper's Pit, something to play with. Util is going to catch out a couple of players already. And this aggressive spot from Miniboo, still clearly feeling the confidence.
Yeah, but it's not just Miniboo. They were waiting for the recon of Rian's, but he's not putting the recon because he's so close himself, already going in with the rocket launcher, and the show is over for Miniboo. He's out of the round. Rian's not able to trade up close, and so he's forced back. The A site now, not as heavily defended by Team Heretics. The advanced positions taken out of their hands. It might get a little bit awkward for this squad. They don't have any control on the side of KC elsewhere. It seems like they're going to fully commit to this A play. So the life on this map pretty much dependent on either Patatek or Rian's getting a few on the way through. Rian's has been consistent, and Patatek's got the first. Good signs for Heretics.
Yeah, and that's 3 players already. They can continue to stack up onto the site. Still plenty of time to play with. But Patatek in a re-aggressed position. Still fighting strong, has a teammate alongside him, but the trades are good. A Viper's Pit possible. And the flash also catching onto Boo will let them know that he's here. Instead, though, Narrate goes fighting, goes facing that snake bite. It's going to do quite a bit of extra damage. Leave Tamazi low, and he's now being rounded on from behind from Benji. His positioning almost perfect, but just looking to try and get into that pit, catch him before he could do anything else. The second snake bite as well, just making things so much worse. 44 HP, the right spam could do everything, and Tamazi knows it. He's going to try and fight forward, looking for that player who's about to round the corner. Not quite ready for it. Might still win the duel, though. Somehow has turned this back into a 1v1, but Benji's there. He'll keep the hopes and dreams of Heretics alive. As again, they get to 7.
The only way to approach this is one at a time. 5 more rounds. It's a big task, but they can get there if they keep playing like this. That was nasty from Martin. Didn't catch that the first time around, but
it's the counter flash as well, again from Narrate. Like, he is still probably dead, or at least one of the others is, but he just throws that Dizzy in, completely blind.
Oh, Heretics building their confidence, building their rounds, and on the comeback arc. 5 in a row needed. Viper's Pit to play with. KC, if they lose a player early on, that res from Shin can always come back through now that it's online. There's something to think about really if you're Heretics. And 4 players spotted right away. I think they've got an iota that this is an A hit.
Yeah, it seems like the plan over the last few rounds has been to hit towards this A site. This time, though, they're picking up the pace, looking to almost sprint their way in. That shock dart could do a nasty amount of damage. It's going to tickle away at a few players as they continue this push forward. Panitek's gone, so is Rien's. Not the start they were looking for. Benji's at least managed to claw back one. We will see the plant in. And now the fallback. This is just going to have to be that full retake now.
At least still some utility to work with, but the pin for Heretics needs to be dealt with. They could get that diffused right under their nose.
He got
Magnum's
2!
all the way around. It's only 1 player to worry about, and he's way up top. Magnum could have 3 kills down below. But instead, they were focused on finding that third. Boo and Benji. Benji very low. Boo not too healthy either. And with the pit down, things are looking like it might just be over. 30 HP, 1 shot needed for KC. That's 13-7, back to back. The consistency on display from this French organization. And my God, they are now 1 away. Magnum, a player who debuted on this stage, one of the maps 0 and 15. And now he's 1 away from winning the kickoff event. An unbelievable story for this squad.
Well, Heretics, they came into this without losing a map. Now they've lost 2 and have to try and turn it around. Let's see if they've got the stones to do it.
I'm so much better than them. What the are you guys doing?